Alright guys, we are off to an island off the Queensland coast in Northern Australia that the Guinness Book of Records said was the most violent place on earth outside of a war zone. In Spanish, here we come. Out here, the master, Clint. He's got me onto a big Spanish mackerel. So much work's going on there. Absolute rookie error. Alright, that's not good. I'm going to set my hammock up so I get a little bit of hope back in me. Get on my gear there because it's starting to spit now so I can get under cover. And it looks like I got jerky for dinner. So like all the places I get to explore, this one's been tainted with a bad reputation throughout the media over the years. A lot of violence, and it's had a really dark history like all the places I go. I'm hoping to get there and again, like all the places I go, be surrounded by beautiful people, learn about their rich culture, and learn that it's not all about what you see in the media, that this place is actually beautiful and has beautiful people. So we've made it out here to Palm Island. Now I'm going to tell you guys all about this place over the next couple of days. So we'll talk about that later. But the first thing that comes to mind is the generosity. Like everywhere I go, it amazes me. We had about an hour and a half run from the mainland out here to Palm Island, and I was actually picked up and brought out by Clint, a local fella here on Palm. And he's brought me out here to his camp and saying I can camp out here somewhere. And it's just blows my mind. I'd never met Clint before. Same thing when I got up to Bwgcolman Island. Like, I just get taken in and I don't know these people, and they're just so welcoming and the generosity just flows. And now I'm just going to explore around this place. Clint's got bits and pieces everywhere. Looks like he's pushed a track in here to his home with this dozer here that's now, or this digger that's just completely overgrown. There's old boats everywhere. We're in this beautiful bay, and I met heaps of little kids in town when we pulled the boat out of the water. You boys show me the beach? Oh yeah.
Can we have a canoe?
You got a canoe?
Yeah, over there.
So you can just go play out here?
Yeah.
You can swim? You're not worried about crocodiles?
No. We just found it on the beach when we were going fishing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like an old one? Actually, I might have seen it up there. You mean that one there?
No, like a proper canoe. Basketballs or balls will float up in here. Can we play with them?
Yeah. What a cool spot to grow up.
Here, we found that canoe
Oh yeah.
over the hill.
After checking out home on the bay with the kids, Clint wanted to show me a special place just out of town.
Jungle perch in here. Oh, look at that. Whoa, look at that. The hospitality continues. So we just had a drive around town, or not town, around part of the island. So far it seems like this is the main Palm Island. There's 12 islands in this island group. And on Palm itself, the mission used to be on the northern end, which they now call Mission. And we're camped out on the western side. When I come on these trips, I don't know where I'm going to stay. I literally have I didn't know Clint yesterday. And now I'm sleeping at his shack, this beach shack. And I've got a hammock in my bag and a blow-up mattress, an Alton blow-up mattress, and a mosquito net, because I learnt my lesson on Bwgcolman Island. So I went to BCF today before I came across and got just a cheap hanging mosquito net, and didn't know where I was going to sleep, but I'm in a bedroom. I'm literally like, I'm going to wake up and I'll be able to see the ocean out there. I can hear the waves right now. It's just magic. I love what I do. I love the people I meet. But anyway, I'm buggered. I'm gonna have a wash off, have some jerky for dinner, and get a good night's sleep by the look of it. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning, guys. Clint and his family they're still asleep back there, so I've just snuck out, made a cup of coffee, and going for a little morning walk. Now you can see out the back there's like a outer reef, and this is like a lagoon in here, which makes me feel like in all my time surfing over in Indonesia, it's like this. A lot of the bays are like this, where you get that outer reef and this protected lagoon, and I imagine it's what sort of not stops the crocodiles, but Clint reckons they don't get many crocodiles around here. This is a special place. This feels so different to anywhere else I've been so far. Like, look at the big mountains over here, where the mountains come right down into the ocean, like up Port Douglas, Cape Tribulation up that way. It's very similar. The clouds hug at the top like that. It's like a bit of a creek in here. You can see with the king tides. Yeah, you can see it's much higher here than down into here. The king tides have pushed all this up. See all sorts of treasures through there. Let's have a look, see if we can find a lure. God, so many plastics. Oh, there's one. Look at that. Look at that. Almost a brand new Laser Pro. All these long sticks here, that one. That's for knocking the coconuts down out of the trees here. Safe climbing. That looks like a pretty easy tree to climb. Look at that big rip snorter. A nomad. Well, next time I know not to bring any lures, I'll just bring new trebles. Home sweet home. Alright, we're heading out for the day. Got the morning coffee from the local coffee shop. Had a cheeky dog and gun one early, but heading out. Going to cruise all the way around Palm Island today, so I'll tell you guys a bit about the island, probably from a beautiful beach on the other side, out of the wind. That's a shipwreck there.
Yeah, so that's what they used to bring them food in back in the day.
Yeah, right. All right. Palm Island is one of the islands within the Palm Island group. And these days it's an Aboriginal community full of beautiful people, but it's got a very dark history. Back in 1914, the Australian government turned this place into an Aboriginal mission, or a reserve Aboriginal people. And this happened all over the country, these missions. So I'm now spending time with the descendants of the people that were brought to those missions. So everyone was cleared off country, off their traditional country, and brought to one little community. And a lot of the time, several tribes that would never cross boundaries except for ceremony or for fighting or for things like that, we're now forced to live together in these missions. And everywhere that I've been in Queensland, people talk of Palm Island. They all have family who was brought to Palm Island. And that's where Palm Island is unique. Oh yeah, there's the school down there. Yep. On? Alright, so we're chasing Spanish mackerel here between these two islands, between Palm Island and... What's this island?
Curacao.
Curacao. And we're in this big channel here. It's a very narrow channel, but Clint's saying that everything from out there has to come through this channel. So there's a lot of water moving, and this is where all the big creatures are.
Should get a bite here.
Hey, get a bite here. So we're marking plenty of like bait balls down there and plenty of fish. Big fish, I'd say all these mackerel just packing in that bait. You on?
You're right, mate.
You on? Yep. Clint's on. Where's your gaff? He's gone. You want an Australian jet ski? Woo! Nice one, mate. You got to be quick, eh?
And they'll do that with the mackerel. Because you got a shark first up, they go quiet.
Yeah, okay.
And then once you get them to bite again, because the sharks are just tailing them the whole time.
So yeah, they're obviously faster than the sharks until they're hooked, and then
Until they're hooked, yeah. But they're sitting there, just sitting at the back the whole time. There's a wolf pack of them.
The sharks,
Yeah.
just waiting.
Just waiting.
The mackerel would have to be one of the fastest in the ocean, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Are you fussy with what mackerel you eat? Like you...
No, I like Spanish, but I like spotties.
Yeah, okay.
I love spotty. We used to catch enough of them.
They're on.
Yeah, you got it.
Hey?
Anyway, you got it. That's probably been sharks onto him there. Just whine as I chase it. Yeah, just let him go, brother. That's sharks. Just whine, yeah, just keep going. Just keep pumping, just whine. Keep going, brother. Keep going, brother, you got it. Yeah, head. Valley.
is it?
Sharks.
Oh, I'm absolutely gassed. I forgot how hard this bloody blue water fishing is. Ah.
With too many sharks at this spot, Clint's decided to take us to another one of his fishing spots, apparently with less sharks.
No, you don't have to worry about sharks here.
Ah, really?
Nah, no shark. So and it'll have 2 more runs in it when we get close to the boat. Yeah, you take your time, brother. Just hold on. And sort of steer it, like go that way with the rod. Yeah, just take your time, it'll take off now. So yeah, just hold on. That's it, plenty of time, brother.
You're the mackerel whisperer, mate. We take off now.
Yeah, it's got 1 more run in it. Yeah, that's it. See how your rod's all the way down here, so if you keep it up there,
Here it up.
but you don't have to worry about sharks. No. You've pretty much got it now.
It looks like a good one.
Yes, So you just hold and steer.
Oh, don't point.
No, you're
I'm
right.
so used to pointing the rod at him.
No, put the rod. Yeah, just hold. Just hold. Keep going, brother, you're all right. Yeah, you got him there. So I've got 3 runs at the boat and then that's it. So just sort of steer it this way. Yeah, just hold. There you go, brother.
Yes. Daddy with the master, Clint. He's got me onto a big Spanish mackerel. That's still a good fish. I'm stoked with that, mate. Thank you. So tell us about taking some back to the community. Like we met Uncle Alan there this morning. And this is what you do, You keep enough for yourself and then share it out.
Share it out.
That's the go. Everyone's going to be happy
Sharing
tonight.
is caring, brother.
Yeah. We did it, mate.
Right on the mark too.
He said it too, eh? He's a bloody whisperer. He literally said he's going to have a run now and bzzz, took off. He said that twice. And he literally said, this is it, they're going to hit here, and then bang, he's on. So cool.
And if I thought catching a big mackie was good, Clint had something pretty special up his sleeve just around the corner.
There's a big white-breasted sea eagle that Clint feeds here.
Comes with that.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's normally 2 here.
You've been doing that for a long time?
Took me a while to train them up.
Yeah?
Yeah, they wouldn't come close, but now I can get them come really close. But yeah, it took a while, like 2 or 3 months to train them up. And I sort of got used to the boat. And then...
I love it. Palm Island is beautiful.
With people from over 40 different nations being brought to Palm Island in its mission days, it now has a very diverse culture. The descendants of these original people now call themselves Bwgcolman people, and although they still hold cultural ties to their family tribal lands, they call Palm Island home.
All right, Clint's just put me on the beach because he said there's a bit of a creek in here and I want to come up and see it. You got coconut palms along the beach here, and just back down there was some she oaks, and it looked like it dropped off behind like a bit of a swamp. It'd be great if we had more time and better weather to check that out. I'd love to come and camp in an area like this. Oh, look at this little swimming hole. Oh wow, so it's actually running from up here where these melaleuca trees are. And then it must run. So further down the beach there was that, all those she oak trees. And it looked like there was a water hole in behind the she oak trees, and this must run that full stretch of the beach. We've got the hibiscus trees here that we use for spears, like the spear rods. There's probably jungle perch in here too. Oh, this is magic. Palm Island is one of the islands within the Palm Island group. And these days it's an Aboriginal community full of beautiful people, but it's got a very dark history. So in 1914, the government declared Palm Island a a mission or a reformatory school, a reserve for Aboriginal people. That's where Palm Island is different. It wasn't just children brought here and then families that followed. It was the troublemakers. So anyone who stood up, mostly men, who would stand up for their rights, stand up for themselves or their family's rights. You know, being a good man, that's what you do. And these men who stood up for themselves or their rights, for simple little things like, on all the missions they would work for rations, like they get tea, flour, sugar, a little bit of like old damper, stuff like that, and they'd work their asses off in these missions, and that's all they'd get. So if you were to stand up for yourself, or you were to steal an apple or ask for better rights, you'd be sent to Palm Island. So Palm Island became a pretty wild place. So I went for a big drive yesterday right up into the mountains with a fella named Ebenezer, him and his son. Took me for a spin and we spoke about the history of the island and a little bit about the culture, the mixed culture. And one of the things was these spear rod trees. Now these are used. There's several different hibiscus trees on the island that they use, but there was one other one. It was like drummel or something like that. Sorry, I stuffed up the wording there, but it's something like that, something like drummel or dummel, and it's a tree that is found in the rainforest that which was like the prized tree for spear rods. There's not too many, so when there's a patch of them, it's kept a bit of a secret, but that was the main spear rod tree. Let's walk up this way and see the other end of the creek where it's coming from. I think I can hear water running. Oh, it is. It's a little waterfall. Oh, yeah. Oh, someone's had a fire here. Bit of a cook up. Look at that. How good. How good is this? Now I ain't jumping in there today because it's bloody cold. I got the hoodie on. And it's not that clear, well, the water's clear, but because it's overcast, you can't quite see in there. But that is magic. I'd love to be back here in the middle of summer. Be diving out there on the reef, and to come in here and cool off, wash that salt off, have a cook up on the beach. I'm coming back to Palm Island for sure. There, get some mud crabs. So the tide's pushing in now, it's low tide, but the tide's coming in. So when we're done in the mangroves, obviously the water's going to be higher. And there's no crocodiles, hey? No crocodiles. Yeah. Is there always water in it? So you got a few holes in here you know about?
Yeah. Taking like 4 hours to lift this hole.
Really? And you're swimming out to the boat. So when you're hunting for food like this, nothing's guaranteed, you know. Okay, when you're thinking you'll definitely get a mud crab, but nothing's guaranteed. But at least we got that mackerel in the fridge, in the esky there. So we've already got dinner, but I've been tasting mud crab all day. And this island is called Phantom Island, and it's got pretty dark history as well. So in about 1924, I think it was, leprosy, or outbreaks of leprosy around throughout Australia, and to prevent it coming into the main community there on Palm Island, the main mission, they built like a hospital here to house families and people that would be coming through. So before, like a quarantine station basically. So before they would be let on the Palm Island, they would spend time here and either keep going through, or if they did have the disease, they would they'd have to stay here on the island until it was cleared or until they passed away. So apparently there's some sites here on the island, some significant sites. It's probably going to be middens. I'm pretty sure I can see a midden up here now, which is all that shellfish from people sitting there and eating shell out of the mangroves and from the beaches for so long. But sites, like there's going to be grave sites, there's going to be old bits of structure, bits of the old buildings, the hospitals, it would have been a full running, I think there was actually a community here on part of the island as well. So hopefully we'll get to check that out. Learn a bit more about this part of Australia's history. Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go guys, that's what I'm talking about. So that's all mud shell or uckle. Some Aboriginal nations, coastal nations call this uckle. But yeah, it's like a mud mussel and it's absolutely delicious. So it's obviously here on the island. The other thing that's here on the island is goats. So as we came around the island, we saw some beautiful whales, which was really cool, looked like a mother and her calf. And then we came around the back of the island here, and I've heard that there's goats on all the surrounding islands of Palm. Here's the tracks here now. They're goat tracks, which is now a big part of the food source for the people of Palm Island. They come across here and they hunt goats. There's shells everywhere. Loving memory of our dear sister and aunt, Mayon de Bosch, who fell asleep 1st November 1943, 32 years old. Wow. Some sleeping quarters up here somewhere. Oh yeah. She's right in the mangroves. More concrete here. Whoa. I wonder what all this was right near the bloody mangroves. I wouldn't want to be down there. Another slab here. Look at that. I wonder why they built so close to the mangroves. And what do you reckon this is all sleeping quarters?
Yeah.
That's some kind of old road through here. That looks like an apple tree. Oh yeah, look at all this stone through here. Lines of it. Oh, what do you got, Clint? Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you, mate.
get into it.
This has quickly become one of my favourite bush foods.
Green.
Chinky apple, or chonky apple. Yeah? Oh, it's good.
They taste different than two on the ones on the island.
Yeah.
Compared to bucket.
These are a bit more sour.
Yeah.
Another chinky apple tree here. Oh, big one over there. There's a lot going on, hey, with all this rock. Like retaining and... I can't wait to see the photos. I'll probably just drop the photos in here now so you guys can see it. Whoa! The width, the drainage. This was what? The chook farm. Look at it all. Wow. So much work's gone into it. drainage down there.
Makes you wonder what building used to sit here one time.
Yeah, it does. That fireplace here with a chimney.
Another big slab down there.
Look at that clamshell. So I knew this was here, but I'm absolutely amazed by how big it is. How much work's gone into it all. Where the hell all these rocks came from. Men in this island. You just saying that because I'm sleeping here tonight? Oh, look at that. Wow. And there's the creek running up there. Wonder who dug that out. Give you two guesses. It wasn't the white fellas. So the tide's pushing in now. It's low tide, but the tide's coming in. So when we're done in the mangroves, obviously the water's going to be higher. And there's no crocodiles, hey? That's cold. All right, mate. See you tomorrow. Don't forget about me. See you in the morning. Are you going to drop the kids off and come back? I'll be here. It's just me out here now. So I've decided to stay out here the night because we haven't even scratched the surface with this Phantom Island. I want to go deep. I want to look for all the old sites, try and work out what they are. You know, this stuff really intrigues me. Walking through there, I could feel it, you know, that presence, that deep, heavy presence of the history that happened here, and I want to dig into that. So decided to stay the night, but it is like, it's probably 5 o'clock. I don't have too long until it's going to start getting dark, and I don't know the island. I've got to find, okay, so I'm soaking wet. I've got to get a fire going because I want warmth, and I've got to cook the fish. I've kept a big fillet of that Spanish mackerel for dinner, and there's chinky apple everywhere, so I should be able to get some chinky apple for breakfast. I've got a little bit of water. So yeah, first I want to get fire, then shelter. So I'll put my hammock up and get nice and warm, and that'll be me for the night. How exciting is this? This is the stuff I love doing. All right, so to get the fire going, I really wanted a coconut. Clint pointed out a coconut tree, but it was way back down the beach in the other direction. And by the look of this point here, I think I might go for a run. Whoa, look at all this coral. Oh, look at that, straight up. Look at that. That's beautiful. There you go. That's jackpot. That'll do. All right, let's find a camp. Somewhere to tie the hammock up. Ideally in these she oaks. Oh, it's been too long since I've had a hammock camp. All right, I think I found the spot. A couple of trees here. It's a little just up in here. A little bit close to the water for my comfort, but apparently there's not too many crocodiles around here, and I should be able to get the hammock up nice and high, possibly from that one up there to this one here. Stay up high, get a nice fire going here, That'll keep me nice and safe and warm. We'll go exploring in the morning. So guys, in these scenarios, like I said, it's getting late, it's getting dark, well, it's going to get dark really quick because it's quite late. You want to scour the area really quick, like work out, because this fire's obviously going to go out, or if I'm struggling to get it going and I need, like, you know, a better source of flame, like a melaleuca tree or something like that, paper bark. You don't want to be doing that in the dark, so in with a head torch. You want to have a good look around first, look up in the mountains, up in the hills and stuff, work out where the dry grass is, if there is melaleuca trees, if there's a coconut tree, things like that, so you're not stuffing around in the dark. Starting to rain. Absolute rookie error. I don't have a flint. I do. I've left it in my backpack back at Clint's place. All right, that changes things a bit. It's not wet. It shouldn't be empty. Well, that sucks. There's no sun, so I can't use the sun. I don't have a flint. I don't have a spare lighter. I don't have any battery or cable. All right, that's not good. I'm gonna set my hammock up so I get a little bit of hope back in me. Get on my gear there because it's starting to spit now, so I can get under cover. And it looks like I got jerky for dinner. All right, I just moved camp because I don't know, I just got a bad feeling about that tide. It was coming in higher, it was almost right underneath me. Didn't feel comfortable. So I'm tucked in here in the trees. I'm a bit further back from the beach down there. I still have no lighter, but there was a hut on the point down there. So if I can get the hammock up quick enough, I'll go for a run down there and see if someone's left a lighter. I have dry shelter. I'll just get my gear under there. Oh, that feels good. That's what I'm talking about. In these situations, just the little things like fresh water to wash your face and get dry clothes on, setting up a tarp when it's about to rain, you know, getting a fire going, all these little things just bring your morale up, make you feel better. And having that shelter for the night, I feel good about that. Just in case for the morning. Try and keep that dry. Oh, I got a couple of bananas too. All right, I've worked out what happened with the lighter. Today, it was in the front pocket of my bag, my big cedar summer bag, which is completely waterproof. These things are amazing. They'll float. They're like airtight. They're great. But they have this tiny little zip on the front. And I had my microphones, I just found out. I had my microphones, a couple of batteries in there for the GoPro that had been used, and my lighter. And I just unzipped it and checked in there, and there was like a puddle. So the lighter got wet. But it's still, like, I should still have a flint for a backup, which I do. It's at Clint's place. Anyway, I'm all set up for the night. I'm gonna be snug as a bug in there tonight. I've got my hoodie, long pants, I've got my beanie. Sometimes these hammocks get really cold at night on the underside here with the breeze, especially in winter. But I've got a sheet in there as well. I just got the Zolio out, messaged my beautiful wife and kids and told them I'm thinking of them and that I'm safe. And I'm actually all right. I've had a couple of bananas, had a couple of bits of jerky, and I'm more worried how I'm going to get the hot water in the morning for my coffee. But hopefully I can come up with a solution in my dreams. If the sun's out, we should be able to get a fire going. But going on the last few days, that's not going to work either. Anyway guys, I'm going to get an early night. It's about 6:30 PM, which is perfect. Get a big night's sleep, get up nice and early, and we'll keep adventuring. I was expecting it to be like, and like we just had a little shower not long ago, only like 10 minutes ago, just a tiny little shower. I was expecting a horrible day, but it doesn't look too bad. Hopefully it's clearing, because it says that Wednesday, which is tomorrow, is really light winds. I want to go diving out the reef. So we need that wind to back off so we can get out there. Oh, I might get some chinky apple for breakfast. I think that's step number one. I just went down and washed my hands. And I was coming back up and I was like, I had my lighter in my pocket all night trying to keep it warm. We got fire! Yes! So I'm gonna get a fire going. Oh, that means I can have hot coffee for breakfast. Alright, I'm gonna get a fire going. I've got that mackerel. Last night I buried the mackerel in the sand, in the wet sand down there. So I'll dig that up and it could be still cool enough to cook up for breakfast. Gonna have a feast with brekkie. Oh, I'm so excited. So stoked. So I was thinking this is like the most relieved and happy I've ever been to have a fire, but there was that one time in the Gulf last year when I ran out of fuel up the river, like right on sunset, and I had to pull up onto a bank and I had nothing, no food, no water. Had my phone, that's the only light I had. And I had a lighter and I had like a tablespoon of fuel left in the drum of the boat, and I got that fire going and I had to wait for help to come. That was the most relieved because the mosquitoes were horrendous. But this little fire here now, after like laying there in the dark all night, being cold, and just thinking I'm gonna have cold coffee for breakfast, you know, it's not the end of the world, but these little things just make you so happy. I'm wrapped. We're back on. So that's a chinky apple tree right there, but it's not fruiting. But they're actually, it looks like they're everywhere. So we just got to find a tree that's another one there. Oh, that's got some fruit on it. Just got to find the ones that are fruiting. There's another one right there. Another one over there. Look at that and that. That's probably what I was hearing last night. I heard some weird noises last night. And I was trying not to let, yeah, this is fresh as, but you can see all the dirt's been kicked up as they walk. I was trying not to get creeped out about, you know, the amount of people that would have died here on this island, and that scary and dark history, all those spirits that would still be here. You know, I was laying in my bed going, stop thinking about it, and like trying to bring myself back to that like single focus so I could fall back asleep. But it was hard. He's right there somewhere. No, he's in the trees over there, but I'm getting breakfast. All right, stuff it. This episode today is brought to you guys by Dog and Gun Coffee, simply because they make such good coffee. And I mean, I know that, but when you nearly go without it, like I was going to have it cold this morning, and I don't even know if you can do that. I think the heat in the water activates something in the coffee when you do the pour through. I was going to experiment and hope for the best, but I can't even begin to explain how happy I am to get that fire going and to get hot coffee. So thank you, Sean and Rach at Dog and Gun Coffee, for making such good coffee and for being such legends. I love your coffee, love you guys. And everyone else, get onto it, it's great. But it's also brought to you by the Wild Reaches store, because this beanie, this hoodie, I was so cozy last night except for my bum in that hammock up there behind me that I've rolled up now. You can get everything on our store, and it helps, like everything you buy, from stickers, like the small stuff, stickers and zinc, the spices, all that stuff, right through to the hoodie, right through to the hunting knife, or our bush knife, which is the knife that I bring away on every single trip, the chef knife, all, our more expensive stuff. So right from stickers to that, it all helps to get me up here into these wild places to film this stuff for you guys. So please get over to the store, wildreaches.com/shop, grab something for your kids or your husband or yourself, and yeah, thanks for the support. All right, guys, let's go on a little mission and discover Phantom Island properly. I've done a little bit of reading on this place, as I do whenever I go anywhere. I read up a bit, but I haven't been to, because it was the weekend, I haven't been into the museum, or there's like an education centre on Palm Island itself. I haven't been over there to really learn about this place, but as I walk around here, I'm going to drop photos into the footage for you guys so you can kind of see where I am. So you're gonna see this before I get to see it. Look, there's asbestos everywhere. So obviously they built everything out of asbestos. This is a huge slab here. So Phantom Island. All right, so this is Phantom Island. I don't think I've explained this properly yet. Phantom Island. Well, so Palm Island started in 1914 as an Aboriginal mission, and then in 1925. They built another Aboriginal reserve over here on Phantom Island. I'm not 100% sure why at first, because then a year later they built what they called a lock, which was like a quarantine station, I suppose. So as people would be brought through from all across Queensland, Aboriginal men, women and children, they'd come through the lock and be checked for things like venereal disease and leprosy. And then they'd be cleared and taken to Palm Island. And if they weren't cleared, I think I said that yesterday, that they would stay here and pass away. So that's one thing I don't know, how many people died here on Phantom Island, but I imagine it's quite a lot. There seems to be two separate areas. So there's this area, which is like the northeastern part of the island, and then over the big hill there behind me, where we were yesterday, in behind those mangroves, there was a whole nother part which seemed to be some kind of quarters, like sleeping quarters, huts. So I don't know which one was which, but I'm sure we'll find out when we go to the library. But yeah, when I come to these places, I really like to just sit with it and in silence, and really process what I'm seeing, what you're feeling. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of, this is our history. This is Australia's history, and this stuff I'd love to see taught in schools. Because everyone you meet on Palm Island, it means that, every single person I've met, their ancestors have passed through this island, this piece of history that I'm on right now, to create that person that I'm spending time with, like Clint and Abby. Their ancestors went through this hell, You really got to think about what they went through, You know, there were young, like their grandmothers, which were young girls, were brought here like when they were kids. Imagine that. Imagine being brought here away from your parents and having to go through this place where you're locked up and being tested and stuff for diseases, and then taken to another island full of people from, you know, all different nations and fights going on. And so that went on for 1925. They started here on Phantom Island, and it went right through to 1973. I think 73 or 75. So a bloody long time. Like a big old engine there, so I'd say that's like a power plant. Up here on another concrete slab now. It's quite eerie, like the day that I've picked to come here. It's overcast and hearing these noises. Kind of gives you the shivers. Alright, I'm going to go back here to the centre and walk through to the other side of the island. Hopefully get some more of these apples on the way. There's a couple of goats. There's 3, 4, 3. I really want to come and hunt here. So this, you can see like a real straight line of rocks through here. Some kind of road maybe joining that side of the island to this side. Yeah, and where those goats were, that's a big apple tree there. A different type of apple tree, not the chinky. Same as that one there. There seems to be heaps around here. Yeah, there's like a shed in there. Yeah, see, look. This is... Yeah, one on this side too. Through here. In memory of the patients, Sisters of Our Lady, help of Christians, Franciscan missionaries, of Mary and staff who lived and worked on Phantom Island, and in respect for those who died here from 1939 to 1973, erected on the original site of the Mary Immaculate Church on Monday, 31st of May 2010 by Bishop Michael Putney. So like all missions that I've come across, you know, there's good and a lot of bad. And sometimes the good is more like people who thought, especially in those days, they thought they were doing the right thing, you know, trying to protect Aboriginal people from, because on the mainland, it was like massacre, you know, there were people being shot dead everywhere. And I don't want to go too deep into that dark history. I'll just drop bits and pieces over the years as I film, but like the stuff I've read, the sites I've been to, that I've dug into are like, yeah, they were massacres. That's the only word for it. So these missionaries came in thinking that they were helping, like, let's get all these Aboriginal people to one area, let's, you know, teach them the word of God. And basically they would think that Aboriginal people were like worshipping a devil, and we need to teach them the word of God, and we need to get them clothed, and we need to educate the children, and whatever it takes to do that, we need to do that. So times were tough for these Aboriginal people in the missions. And the missionaries, like the ladies who were here, I don't know, possibly thought that they were doing the right thing. They might have loved all these young children. Yeah, here goes the church. There's these clamshells everywhere, which is a food source for Aboriginal people in this area, or for pretty much all coastal areas in North Queensland. but I imagine it would have been decorative as well on this church. What a view. Let's walk down to their beach and have a look. Not a bad spot. It's a little right-hander out here. Look at that one. Whew. Big coconut tree up there. Another coconut tree there. And this is a whole separate island, guys, this one over here. So Phantom Island comes up around here. It's not far to the tip of the island up there. That's a separate island called Orpheus. Another part of the Palm Island group. So from what I've read, here's another structure here. Look like steps coming up. This one must have been up on posts, I imagine. From what I've read, there was, in 1912, there was a, I'm going to say resort, but like a accommodation built on Palm Island at this beautiful place called the Casement, which is now the airport, the planes fly over it, and it's just cleared. But that was 1912, and I was like, all right, so the mission started in 1914. Surely they didn't like just build a resort there when Aboriginal people were there, because that just didn't happen in those days. They would have been chased out. And the more digging I did, I found out that, yeah, all the Munburra people, the traditional owners, were taken to that Hull River mission. So that all these islands, I don't know, I imagine, like, why wouldn't they inhabit these other islands as well, like Phantom and Orpheus? They're beautiful islands. They have flat areas like this. They have fresh water, plenty of food. So they would have been inhabited and, I suppose, taken, cleared out, and all taken a whole river to build that resort on the main Palm Island. And then, yeah, when Hull River Mission got destroyed, they were all brought to here. Interestingly, the one thing I haven't seen yet is mango trees. There's lots of almonds. So this fella here, that's an almond tree. And then the chinky apples, another almond there. There's plenty of chinky apples, and there's also the Bwgcolman plums. That's what I've found so far. Imagine there's plenty more. Heaps of, obviously, your shellfish, your oysters, all that stuff. So there's so much food here, there's an abundance of it. Right, we have a bit of a walk now up to where those mangroves are. I want to go and explore up there. All right, we're nearly down here at these mangroves. It's starting to rain a bit more now. Palm Island itself is a place that's just always had like bad press, basically. You know, right from day dot and through to now. And I'm getting my head around it all as I'm telling you guys what I'm learning. But I'm just imagining, you know, what it takes for these families to come here. The men that, you know, the ancestors of the people that I'm meeting here were the sort of people who would stand up, probably like you and me, the sort of people who would stand up for your family and for your rights in times of, like, if you just imagine a foreign army or a foreign police force coming to your community, trying to take your children, and you're hearing stories of your neighbours or your cousins and that being, men being shot dead, women being raped and killed, and children being taken, things like that. you're going to stand up. I mean, I know I would. I'd do whatever it takes. And they're the sort of people who were brought to here. Yeah, so just tough people, you know, real hardened people who basically have a life, have like Palm Island's life story is of people who would stand up for themselves, for their rights. And that's why we get these events in the media of things like riots. Some of the riots that I've read about it are from like deaths in custody. And it wasn't like, when you read into it, there was no damage done. There was no damage done to property, no one was hurt. It was literally them standing up and trying to show that their family, someone in their family was killed in a prison cell, like in police custody. And then the media puts it out as riots on Palm Island, and we all think, oh, that place is so violent. That's where it got the name, being the world's most violent place outside a war zone. So one story was in 1930, the superintendent in charge of Palm Island, his name was Robert Curry. I don't know how he got to this point. The stories go that he was a very harsh man, and he used to, so when people would be sent here to the penal colony, which was part of what Palm Island was, they might have, you know, let's say it's a man in Yarrabah, he steals a loaf of bread to give to his family or something because they're not being fed, and he would then be charged and sent to like a prison in Cairns, for example. When he comes out of prison, he wouldn't go back to his family, he'd be sent here. And so you imagine having lots of men like that from all different tribal nations, all sent to here for things like that. This Curry, he was in charge of them, and he was a very harsh man, and he would, if they would then fall out of line, he would take them to a place called Eclipse Island, I think it was, which isn't far away from Palm, just another small rocky island. He would take them there and leave them there for weeks at a time with nothing but bread and water, and probably stale bread and water. And this went on and on and on, these harsh penalties. And one day, I don't know the full story yet, but he lost the plot, this Curry, and he killed 2 men. He fired on 2 men, killed them, and then he went back and burnt his own house down, killing his son and killing his, I think it was his stepdaughter. They were in the house. And what makes me think he obviously lost the plot was because the assistant superintendent asked this man, Peter Pryor, an Aboriginal man, to kill him, and he did. He fatally wounded Robert Curry, killed him, and he actually went to prison for that for a short amount of time, like a couple of months, until it went to the courts, and it was cleared in courts that him and the assistant superintendent were within their rights because this Curry must have lost the plot. Anyway, I'm just tucking out of the rain here, and we're going to push through. This is obviously, I said this earlier, but these clams are absolutely everywhere, even up here in the creek. So, you know, you imagine these coastal tribes who are brought here from up the Cape, they'd be eating clams all up the east coast to the very tip and the islands, and then they get brought to this strange island. You can just imagine them sitting up here on the bank, you know, when they're able to get away from the nuns and everything, the superintendent, and they'd come down here and eat shellfish and throw the discarded shells down here into the creek. Look at them all. And that went on for 50 years here. Oh, this place feels heavy. So, in its time, Palm Island, actually not even its whole time, maybe between like 1918 and when they closed the mission in 1973 or 75, 3,950 people were brought to Palm Island from tribal nations all over North Queensland. and that's the record for Palm Island. I don't know how many people were brought here to Phantom and how many people died. They're just the ones that got through to Palm. And here in front of me looks like a big burial site. Yeah, it just feels heavy. So I feel uneasy. I feel a little disrespectful being in here, just filming it. I've got friends all over, like Indigenous friends all over Queensland. A lot of the people who came here are from Cape York, and I'm sure some of the people I know would have ancestors who could be buried here. So yeah, I'm sorry. I mean no disrespect coming and walking in here. I think it's important to share this story, and that's why I'm here. I suppose the one, it's a beautiful thing, I suppose, that they were buried here, like right here on the edge of the mangroves, where so many days would be spent in Indigenous life after hunting and gathering to sit and eat shellfish and probably yarn and connect. And that's what they're all doing here now, I suppose. Okay. All right. I've got to what's that? Oh, there you go. I've said this before, but this is a baler shell. And these were used by Aboriginal people all across the top end of Australia for thousands of years, for collecting water, for cooking on the fire, like boiling water and stuff. It's a very handy tool. I'm going to leave this one here. Yeah, I'm going to get back to camp. I think Clint's going to come soon, hopefully, pick me up. I'm getting really hungry, so I haven't cooked that mackerel. Might go and check it, dig it up. And then, I don't know what the plan is with Clint today. He'll come and get me and go for an adventure somewhere. I'd love to collect some food and have a cook up because I'm hungry. But that's a wrap for another episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting what I do. There'll be more episodes here around Palm and Phantom Island, so come back next week. Make sure you get your merch, hats, adventure shirts. We've got the hoodies and the beanies you saw me wearing earlier. All sorts of stuff, knives, spears, everything over there at wildreaches.com/shop. But yeah, what an amazing place. I've had such a good time here so far. I'm just like deep in thought. I'm so intrigued by the history of this country, and this is a big part of it right here. So See you all next week for another episode. Somewhere out here in the wild parts of Australia.